Okay, come to order, please. Jamie, take roll.
Don Hall here.
Bill Boyd here. Jerry Vanook.
Dan Herman.
Sherry Palmer, and you skip over me.
Randy Brown.
Randy Brown.
53.
Jeremy Bill. Carl Seiler.
Okay, I'd like to have somebody make a motion to excuse, Bruce LaFrance, who,
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion to excuse
and,
Bruce.
I also want to include, Todd had personal things come up, so. But they notified us in advance rather than, the last minute call off, so. You're making the motion?
Yeah,
I'll
make
second.
Randy.
Yeah.
Second, all in favor of excusing those absences?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Okay, can we, Dan, you wanna lead us in the pledge?
Oh, you all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Amen.
That's done. Okay,
Any additions to the agenda?
any additions to the agenda?
What agenda?
Well,
The one that,
sorry, the one I forgot to print.
Yeah, I had to say that.
okay,
Sit down.
It's just a regular agenda, no fancy stuff.
I think the next thing was public comment.
Minutes, minutes of the last.
No, I want, before we go there, I'd like to put Glenn in as sergeant at arms for the meeting. Can we get a motion for that, please?
I'll make a motion for Glenn to be sergeant of arms.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thanks, Glenn. Okay. Meeting minutes, I need a motion to accept the minutes and,
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
second,
I'll second it.
any
I'll
discussion?
second.
Anybody got discussion once, twice? All in favor of accepting the minutes? Yes?
Yes.
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 Can I go back to emailing the minutes before the meeting? So you guys have a chance to actually read them before
Yes.
the meeting?
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Who stopped it?
It was stopped because the minutes were being posted before on the websites, Facebook and stuff
Was that
prior to,
because of our,
yes.
yeah.
Prior to the
Yeah,
board
no,
approving.
please, from now on, yes.
So until the minutes are approved, you guys cannot share them.
Well,
Okay.
now, I know, forgot where the heck it was, which committee I sat on, they always had the word draft over them. I don't know how to do that, do you know how to do that?
I can figure it out though.
Yeah.
We use that at school, so I can find out from the school.
Yeah, if you could,
Yep.
I would recommend doing it that way, write the word draft on there, draft minutes, it goes right across, but you can still read through it.
Yeah, so I'll try to figure that out before the next
Yeah,
meeting.
please. That way, in case somebody gets creative again in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, next thing, I'm sorry.
Public comment.
Public comment. 3 minutes, name and lot number. I guess nobody wants to make a comment, that's good, we'll just choose it.
I'll make a comment.
Name and lot number.
Don Hall, 34 and 35. I just wanted to make the comment that, over the last couple of months that I've been back, you guys have really made it nice for me, to come in and do my job. I appreciate it.
We appreciated you.
Yeah. You're welcome, Don. Glad you're doing better.
Yep,
Yes.
God.
we're glad you're on this side of the grass.
Yeah, right.
Well,
Alright.
pretty, yeah.
Any more public comments?
I'm sorry, where are we at now?
Public comments, so, anybody else?
Oh, forgot if it was on me to put it. I guess not, I'm gonna purge that.
Officers report, President?
Okay, I appreciate the way all you guys have handled your committees. I'm really kind of pleased with the way things are going on the dam. Seems like everything's been pretty quiet so far, and I kinda hope it stays that way till next year. Until Dan and I change positions.
Yeah, right.
I ain't heard that motion yet.
Make a motion to switch, no.
Well,
Is that sure? Are you sure?
well, no, I'm talking about, committees.
Oh.
So, I appreciate the quiet of the Lake and the Greens, it's great.
Got exciting for a minute.
Anyways, who's the next one on the list?
Me. I really have nothing to report, other than, if you sell your property, please contact us and let us know. If you see new members, make sure that they have contacted us in some way so that we can get their updated information and get our roster updated.
Okay, I guess that puts it up to the treasurer next. Sherry?
Hi. Okay, so you all got the financials up through August 2021. The receivables are on the last page. Late fees add up to $24,465. I'm gonna send out statements when I get back home in the next week or so,
Okay,
depending on my work schedule, but those are gonna go out to all of them. And, once my job slows down, I'm gonna spend some time on getting probably 3 of these people and put a lien on their property. That's gonna be in the works, and then, that's it for the financials, if I can have a motion to approve the financials.
somebody wanna make a motion to approve?
I will, Don Hall.
I'll
Don
second.
Hall?
And then
Second.
what I wanna do is I wanna make,
Well, hang on a second,
Oh.
you made a motion already to accept the financials, so now we have to vote on it, so
Oh.
discussion.
I second it.
We've already got a,
Second.
we've already got a second, any discussion on the financials? All those in favor, roll call on that, please.
Don Hall, yes.
Bill Boyd, yes.
Dan?
Dan?
Dan Herman, yes.
Randy Brown, yes.
Gary Bill, yes. Charles Simon, yes.
Okay. Motion passes.
Okay,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Then I
second
just
thing.
wanna say that dam donations as of, whenever I did this paperwork about at the beginning of the week,
Okay,
we have $13,949.60 in the dam donation fund,
It was 13,900.
$949.60.
Does
And
that
then,
include-
what I'd like to do, I was talking to the accountant that works with me,
okay,
and if you look on the balance sheet, we have 3, well, technically we have 4 accounts, but one is the dam donation fund that is an offline, it's
Off-sheet item.
off-balance sheet item that's not included in our numbers, because it's all donations, so that's why it's at the very bottom of the balance sheet, it shows what the total is.
okay.
But if you look up, we've got a Fund 40, which is our checking account, we've got a Fund 00, which is our lake fund, and we have a General Fund 20, which is our savings account. What my motion is to take that Fund 20 and name it reserves, and I wanna make that account $10,000. What we would do is we would take the $807.84 that's in there already, go to the bottom where it says reserves, transfer that, put that line item into the savings, make it, so we'll add those two together. And then we want it to be $10,000, cause
You
we
gotta
should,
take the lake fund too.
oh, yes, and the lake fund, so get rid of the lake fund, which is $3,022, add it to the general savings fund. Add up the reserves, and whatever I need to make $10,000, I wanna take it out of retained earnings and keep that Fund 20 as reserve, with $10,000 in it, that we don't touch unless we've expired all our other money. That way, us as a board and the membership could see that we have reserves of $10,000 and a retained earnings line.
Okay.
Yeah,
I make a motion that we do that.
Because this is
Do you
confusing.
need this written down or anything, Jamie, or do you think?
I'm writing it as she says it.
Okay,
and it's recorded.
okay, I just
Yes.
wanna make sure.
And I'm going to have my accountant that's working with me help me do that so that at our next meeting when we come together, y'all can see
Okay.
the numbers, so.
Okay, I've got a motion to accept what you've asked for.
I'll second it. Yep. go ahead.
Okay,
So
Charles,
Dawn-
Charles will
Dawn
second it.
accept, or Dawn and Charles. I
Oh,
thought
Jerry,
he
I'm-
said Charles, so.
Is there any
Sorry.
discussion or questions on that first?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't gotten to ask for the.
Oh.
That's why,
It's
Well,
an
she
ex-
made the proposal, I figured we discussed before we voted on that.
well, yeah, we're getting there. I gotta have a motion in a second before I get to discussion.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I thought you were starting to vote.
Robert's rules.
Yep.
It's a guideline.
Okay, now I will take discussion.
Does anyone have any questions on that?
I'm trying to understand what advantage it is, again.
So,
You lost me a little bit, I'm sorry. but-
okay, so it's not technically an advantage, it's more of a visual.
Okay,
So if you look at the line at the bottom where it says reserves,
yeah,
that will say 0.
Won't be
Okay,
there.
and it won't be there, it'll be removed. It'll be up where it says general fund 020, and instead of savings, it will say reserves. What we'll do is and then the lake fund will disappear. That $3,000 will then be added to the 807.
But will that still be available to the lake fund?
No,
Well,
no,
it
you
doesn't
can't
need to
take
be,
it
that's
away.
been in there for years. Why is it there? Rory said why it was there, though.
Go ahead, Van.
well, I've heard several people talk about that, and that was part of the old lake assessment that we
Okay.
used to pay in the 130. And it's basically just a number we're tracking right there.
That's
It's not, I mean, in all the years I've never come in and said, oh, hey, we need to take some money out of this actual lake fund for anything. So what this actually does, Phil, is you're gonna you're gonna move this reserve, which is basically just a number that is being kept track of. That money is already in the checking account. It's a number we're keeping track of. So let's take that reserves and put it into a savings, you'll at least get a little interest out of it. Then you'll take that lake fund, add it to that number, and then you'll take this general fund of 807, add those together. And it's always been my understanding that we have $10,000 in a reserve account, so we'll name the reserve account in the savings. I think I did the numbers, and it works out to roughly $1,400 we would take out of the retains and make it $10,000. And that is, we'll call that reserves in the savings. It'll simplify things, because then you can look at it, it doesn't have a specific name, it's one less thing to keep track of in the accounting part. And it would be, and that would kind of be, if we ever had to dip into that savings account, that reserve savings account, that's a red flag that the board needs to fix but that means you've exhausted the retained earnings, and now we need to go into that for whatever reason. You know, as of the statement in May, there was $27,000 in retained earnings with that reserves and the retained earnings on there. So let's make the 10,000, we'll have the balance left over in the retained earnings, which is gonna be roughly 17,000, I'm shooting from the hip on that number. And that means if you exhaust that number there, then we would have to dip into the 10,000 reserves, and then this board would have to budget the next year and set itself up for a gain versus a loss for the year.
So you said we would take 14,000 from the retained earnings?
No,
Oh, I thought that's what you just said.
No,
It was like
1,400,
1,400, okay.
What I'll do is, on our next meeting, I'll bring this sheet with us, a copy of
Oh, you
the,
already set it up.
the new balance sheet that's gonna
Oh, you see
reflect
what it's set up.
only a checking account fund and the general fund 20 savings that will show what we have in our checking account, and that reserve account.
okay, you made it much more clear, thank you.
Okay.
I want everyone to
I
understand
got
those numbers,
lost
and
there a
it
little bit.
simplifies things too. I mean, for a visual for the membership, when we find out the financials, it makes it's easier to understand.
It'll be
you know.
cleaner, right?
It will be, and it's.
No, I got it
The
now.
two numbers that were just
So,
floating
Okay.
around there anyways.
And this
Any,
was.
anybody else?
I do have something to say too.
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And this was brought to our attention by the accountant who's helping us. Do all of you know who that is?
Yes.
Okay, so she very much has our best interests at heart, really. And she said that that would simplify things for us as a board in Lakes in the Green.
Well,
So once it's all done, the numbers will match as to what you see now.
well, I have to say, since, Boyd and you took over, things have been getting a lot cleaner on the finances. I mean, I'm even able to follow it.
Yeah.
So I wanna thank you for your efforts. Anybody else have a question on what's being done? If not, I'm gonna close discussion. And since we're making this kind of change, I guess I'm gonna want a roll call on this one
Don
as well.
Hall, yes.
Phil Boyd, yes.
Dan Herman, yes.
Randy Brown, yes.
Jerry McDill, yes. Charles Siler, yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, so I have one more. and
Okay,
I'm done,
go ahead, no,
promise.
you're good.
I know we wanted to make it short.
Well, no,
I don't really speak a
no.
lot, so this is.
No, I mean, we're conducting the meeting.
Okay.
Do your thing, Sherry.
So, so I also have with me, that I forgot to pass out to you guys, is the budget that we came up with at our last meeting.
Okay.
So our budget, we did the budget according to how many, can you pass this down, please? How many lots pay us $200? That number came out to $61,000. What we should have done, and this is what, her name is Kim, the accountant, who has been helping me, says, that we should have made our budget approximately, what did she say, 10% less. Because if we spend our budget as this is, we have $24,000 in
Delinquent
unpaid
funds.
dues, delinquent dues. So what my next proposal is to,
You can have the financials.
excuse me,
You can have the financials.
I already did.
Oh, my bad, sorry.
What my proposal is to change the budget to reflect approximately,
Well, we only have 2
no,
years.
just tell me, I'll do it. To about $53,000 instead of 61, right? Yeah.
That's about right. We only have 2-year history at the
Or,
current new dues.
or we keep it as is, and we really have to watch what we spend, because we wanna put, ultimately, we wanna put so much money into the dam. So, that's my proposal. I don't know if that makes sense. If it does, I can try and clarify it a little bit better, but
Okay,
So you wanna, what you're looking for is a motion to reduce the,
correct.
so is everyone clear on that?
Where are you gonna put the 24,000?
That's all.
Right.
If
I
I,
know that's delinquent.
if I collect it, if it's collectible, if people are gonna send me checks and it's gonna go into the checking account. So what that means,
That'll
and if you look at, the income statement, there's got a line that says late fees. That's where I would post the late fees.
Can I ask a question?
go ahead,
Yes.
Don.
Okay, so with this being said, last year we did the budget at 61, correct?
Right.
And we still had the same amount of late fees, or thereabouts.
Yeah, but I collected about
$6,000.
$6,000 in late fees on top of our regular dues.
Okay, but we all did fine, didn't we?
Okay, so last year on that statement, we actually only collected just under 51,000 in revenue.
I understand that,
We spent 53,
okay,
and we collected it, the only reason we had a net gain last year was because of the delinquencies we collected. That gave us about a $3,500,
That makes.
net gain.
okay.
Had we not collected that, we would have showed a net loss of about 2,000. Because we spent 53, we collected 51, and these are numbers from the hip. So, that doesn't mean we're broke, we still have the retained earnings. Now, to answer your question, Phil, if we were to collect that 24,000, where would it go? That is hooray for the association, and it becomes part of the retained earnings.
At the end of the fiscal year.
At the end
that's-
of the fiscal year, yes.
Yeah, yeah, and also that if somebody did go over in their budget, then that would just be used right there.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's just part of the check, yeah.
Yeah. So,
So then, your motion is you're asking everybody to take about a 10%,
Was that your motion?
yeah,
Well, I think the motion is to reduce the budget to around, I think you need to come up with a number first, that's what you're the treasurer, you wanna
10%
do.
of 61,000.
Where we set at 61,000, so if we collect 51, we spend the full budget of 61, $10,000 would come out of retained earnings.
right. Thanks for letting me help with it.
So that'd be $54,900 budget.
so we can say $55,000. I
You
rounded
take
up.
6,000 off, yeah, that would be if you set it 50.
I think we talked about that too.
Yeah.
I think that's what Kim.
So that's a 10% on every
That's
one.
10% on, yeah, if you did 10% off everyone's budget.
So we can either change the numbers or committee members can just watch their spending.
We did it last year, right?
Yes, we did.
I think we can do it again this year, and then
Change it for next.
see where we are when we get down the road.
I think that,
We'll have,
I think that you guys are gonna have to call me before you write checks or before you buy something, if you're getting close to your budget, so we can closely monitor this.
we just need to look, we did good last year,
We did.
spending 53.
We did, we
Yeah,
did.
the lake spent considerably less, that's what I see part, I mean, if we don't have the dams, it's not dump a bunch of money into the lake until the dam's fixed, really. I mean, I know there's some things we gotta do, but, you know, it's kinda like throwing money out the window, cause we're throwing it into the lake.
Yeah, cause we
I mean, you know,
gave the lake
we're-
$13,000.
I guess I have a question now, Dawn. Are you gonna be okay with the $3,000 drop?
I'm gonna try,
Yeah,
that's all I can do is try.
Well, I mean, the reason why I'm asking that is, you know, I've been in discussion on this topic of the roads.
yeah.
And in my opinion, they're a number one priority.
Mhm.
Especially since a couple weeks ago, I went out of here by emergency vehicle.
Right.
If you can't get a vehicle in and out of here, that's gonna be an issue.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Um,
oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
let me just
Yeah.
kind of finish wrapping it up. I also know that you've been, you know, automotively fixing this place, and if anybody doesn't know what that means, it's been baling wire, chewing gum, and duct tape, trying to hold this all together, so I don't want to destroy your process, so,
Well, I can tell you right now, which is gonna be in my, report, I've already spent $8,845. That doesn't include the 4,000 that we've got going into brush hogging. And I got already the work in progress for next week for the hill and, intersection of Cistern over on Timberline. And I'm not quite sure how much that's gonna cost.
What do you think it's roughly?
I would say $5,000.
well, you know, the thing is
I'll put
I
you at
know
17 right
the
now.
problem with that section, so I guess that's why we have the reserves to dip into, I mean,
You said, you made a statement and said that the roads are our number one priority, and I agree we should keep them passable for emergency vehicles and things like that.
Fire or anything.
And we've also got 13,000 in our lake budget.
right,
If we
we're
don't-
gonna
if we
address
don't-
that.
If we don't make some changes somewhere in this budget, there'll be no money to fix the dam. And that's our number one priority.
Get that 3,000 up.
Well, let me back up
I
on,
don't know what my winter is gonna be.
would $3,000 really upset the apple cart on that, yes
No.
or no? Okay, that's all I'm asking, the rest of them I can see that.
Perfect.
So I mean, for example, Doug, we moved, to make the budget 61,000, we had about, Doug, what is your budget normally, 1,000?
It's 1,500, I believe.
It's 50, so we had extra money, we moved it up to 42. If you don't spend that, that's money that's not gonna be spent. I mean, we have an upcoming inspection coming, and I don't know who we're hiring on that, but that's gonna be between $500 and $1,000. If we say it's 1,000, that's 3,200 that you probably wouldn't be spending anyway. I don't know what else you got coming, so. I probably won't use my budget. I'm at 3,000 on there. I mean, I can safely hand 1,000 back. If I don't, you can leave it that way. If I don't spend it, it just becomes part of
Well,
the
I'm not
retained earnings.
encouraging Dawn, understand, I'm not encouraging Dawn to go hog wild,
No.
but we still need to keep up on the roads.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
All I gotta say
Absolutely.
is, we don't know what the winter's gonna be.
Right?
correct.
And, I don't intend to do too much more after, as far as improvements go. I have to do this one. It's important.
And you know what's important.
Yeah, and it's bad. And I did fix a number of roads in here because of washouts and things, and changed that all up, the whole thing of the road. I got some more, but I cannot, I will try my
With
darndest
discretion, yes.
Yeah,
to not do it unless it gets worse, and if it gets worse, I have to do it.
I think if we're just cautious, we'll probably have
I-
a year,
I-
we'll
I
probably have
will
a year
be
similar to
cautious.
last year, which would be fine. mean,
But I
we're
know,
totally
like
good
I
with that.
said, I got, well, it's probably 5,500 that going out next week, for the improvement and blading.
okay.
And then November 1st starts my,
Winter budget?
yeah, my winter budget. And another thing too, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I've had complaints about the, chloride on the road because it's so bad.
Oh, yeah, it's horrible. That's bad.
And, you know, so that's gonna take a couple of bladings to get it off and out of there. And I know that we've got some pretty hellacious holes going in, so, that's gonna take some fixing. So,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna really try.
We'll talk about it again in February.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
We'll know where we're
I
at
think
then.
that's a
We'll know
good
more
thing.
then.
yeah, okay.
It's just as long as we're watching it, watching the curbs, we'll be fine.
I mean, that's basically how we got the increase in the budget was the roads.
Right.
Well, yeah, it was. The dam wasn't really a hot topic at that point.
No, and I still
It's
agree,
not
we
quite
still,
it's not quite business as usual until that dam's fixed.
but, you know,
That dam's always been a problem.
Yeah.
I've been hollering for 7 years.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna get to that
they'll lower
anyways,
now.
because we're still gonna,
What's that?
we'll get to the dam because.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's coming on next.
So anyways, I
We'll
guess I
watch
need
it.
a motion
Need a
then,
motion.
We'll just watch it for
or
now.
do you just wanna set this as, let's be careful for
We're gonna
right
be-
now?
We'll be careful, we'll watch the number.
Let's
Okay.
keep an eye on it, basically, you know.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda,
Bylaws.
bylaws, Dan,
Bylaws has nothing new.
okay? Next,
Citizens Watch.
Citizens Watch, Glenn?
Oh, it's not me, but I'm gonna get the
Oh,
last report.
I'm sorry.
The
You haven't
last
trained Phil
report
yet.
of the year. Actually, it's been a very good year in here, and a lot of residents and property owners have been helping. Everybody's, changed their attitude in here, and they wanna know what's going on. They see something that don't look right, they will, do something about it, or call the police, or call me, or whatever. So, we had no break-ins, and no larcenies, and everything's been looking good in here for the last year. I can't believe it, because a number of years back, we had break-ins like you wouldn't believe. But yeah, we had a good year last year, pretty much. We've had a couple trespassings that really didn't amount to much. Somebody just cutting through their property towards the evening, trying to take a shortcut. So, And, the only other thing I got is watch your mail. I've had things stolen out of my, packages stolen, so,
Okay.
but,
We've
post
had,
office has been notified, the police have been notified. Number of years back, they caught the guy that was doing it, so, so if you see, well, it's gonna be hard to tell if you, who's in whose mailbox, or,
Yeah,
so if you got packages coming, and you know about when, get up there and get them. But I haven't heard anything more about that, anybody losing anything, but some people did lose medications. And other than that, it's been good in here, and I just had to step down after the last 11 years.
I'm sorry, who is your replacement?
Phil.
Right
Phil,
here.
I was
I'm
gonna
sorry.
get to that. Phil Boyd was kind enough to take it over, and he's doing a fine job. You have no problem there.
Thank you.
And he will get somebody to do it in the winter, because he's gotta go to Florida. But other than that, it's been a good year, and you got a good man taking over, so.
and Jamie, you're gonna have to get new permission slips
I know,
out,
I gotta get those together.
and they have to have the,
Home address if they don't live up here,
Okay.
and the up here address,
because
or lot number.
if I see somebody breaking in, I can call the cops, but it ain't no
What lot,
good,
yeah.
because the owner has to, I had to have permission from the owner, you know, so.
So you can just revise.
And you have to call the owner and let them know, and they'll call in, and I'll call in. But we're not the police, you know, we can't go down there and wrestle them to the ground.
Oh, now you tell me.
Well, I'm sorry you had to
Big
hurt
old
two
bear
people.
that you wrestled down.
The worst offenders used to be the elderly people coming in here and picking mushrooms, man, they'd about shoot you.
Okay, Doug, you're up.
All right, Dan.
Dan.
We had a meeting with the engineers up in Alpena. Dan, myself, and Jerry went up there, we was there about an hour and a half. And his original bid was one of the highest, but he come up with a figure of $11,000 if we give them the $11,000, they'll start the procedures of hopefully this fall, drilling some test holes, and they have a woman in there that puts in for grants. And from what Dan sent some of us a email that said that there is some money coming to Michigan, but it's not
Not yet.
it's not here yet. So I strongly suggest that we write them a check and let's get the ball rolling. We have the 11,000 in the fund.
Yes, we do.
What we raised. So,
What that is, so it's clear, is that his was the highest bid, but he would do it in 2 phases, that we would only have to commit to phase 1, which is $11,000, and that gets us enough so that we can write a grant or apply for a grant from the state. That gets the ball moving. And that, I mean, if we decided not to use them for phase 2, the information would still be good, because it's obviously gonna be about the money. I made it very clear to him that we don't have $48,000, we don't. So,
well, he also said that he would come to him and, his name is Mark, the president of the Scott's Associate or something, engineers. And then the other one, Scott is his first name. It's a Polish last name.
I forget that.
But anyway, they said they would come to the general meeting next year and answer any questions, or they would explain their proposal.
Dan and I were talking about this too. I called our house rep for this area. It looks like in the Senate bill, there's about $19 million allocated toward dams. Now, you have to remember who we're dealing with for the governor, because a couple years ago, the House sent him a budget, and she kinda changed everything around. But it sounds like, from what I'm hearing, they're playing really nice this year, so the money should stay. So to me, it would be a shame not to get in line
Right.
for any of the grants if there's money available, because that would reduce
I
the
don't wanna miss
burdens
that, I
to
don't wanna miss that, you know?
the property owners, you know, instead of us all having to absorb, well, we're talking about $500,000, Doug, to fix that dam
Well,
roughly.
somewhere in there.
Somewhere between $400,000 and $600,000
It's gonna,
is
gonna
half a
keep
million
going
to
up.
me.
It's gonna keep
Yeah, it's
going
close
up.
enough.
It's close, you know.
It all depends which road, the engineer made it clear that he would probably have several different options for us and
But-
after we get the survey work in phase one done. So that would.
But that would at least allow us to be able to put the grants together. You said they got a grant writer. I also talked to her, she said, plus if we needed any help or we have access to the office.
Your state
Because they-
rep?
Huh?
Who? Your state rep?
My
Or
state rep.
Okay.
And she's got a liaison to Eagle, which is what this thing is gonna come
Yeah.
to. So, you know, to me, that would be a gamble I'd be willing to take.
The work's gotta be done anyway.
Yeah, right.
If you
So,
do nothing, nothing's gonna
I
happen.
just
That
wanted to
dam's
pass
gonna go away.
that on to you.
So we need a proposal then for a board vote.
You got anything to add to that, Jerry? You were
Just a
at that
second,
meeting.
hang on.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't wanna get ahead, I just wanted to fill in Doug's gap.
Yeah, I don't wanna make this as a complaint, but I wanna make this as a suggestion. Being on the dam committee, I was not aware of any of this that went on.
We weren't here of the meeting.
And, you know, like I said, just suggesting, at least let us know. I mean, I might have been, if I was available, I might have been interested,
Okay.
but I'm just making that comment that,
All right,
Well,
so,
Phil was gone downstate. I
Okay.
did contact Roy Bowers and Paul Manor, and they both agreed. And Jamie's on it, and Randy's on it.
I
and,
think what he's saying though is like, we didn't know that you were meeting with them, so we didn't have the opportunity to go to that meeting if we wanted to.
Yeah, like Glenn and
just an
myself.
option.
So like before you guys went to the meeting,
Yeah, Glenn and myself and Phil
and us,
and.
and I don't know who else.
Yeah.
I got the list down.
Well,
okay,
hang on a minute. First all, it was a real quick thing. Our lawyer knows them and whatever, and they can meet with you next Wednesday or Thursday. So bang, 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 that was it.
no, I just,
I was gonna say, Phil, the way that
I
started
don't
out
wanna
is,
step on nobody's toes.
no,
No,
let's get the motion going so we can continue the discussion then, if we're gonna get into this.
I'll make a motion that we hire,
Scott Associates.
Scott Associates on getting phase one of the dam done so we can get a grant written.
Okay, can I get a second to the
I'll
motion?
second.
Okay. I'm sorry, Doug, now, we can get into all that stuff. I mean, I understand you got pressed for time, so to me, that's not an
Oh,
issue.
no, I mean, actually, Phil, yeah, I could've called him on the phone, I guess, but I didn't, so when, you know. They were downstate is my understanding.
Okay. Anybody got any
Well,
other?
to answer Phil too, that was kind of a structural thing too, because I was tasked at the last meeting to look into the details so that we don't commit to something that we can't afford. And
Well, like I
that's
said,
kind-
it's
that's
not a
where we
complaint,
came-
it's just a suggestion.
Right, that's what actually spawned the meeting with that right there. I spoke with the lawyer pointed us out to Straley. He, looking over the other bids on it, and, he took the time to go over some more details, so we got a clear understanding of how this needed to roll, so that we can get a grant written on it, and as far as costs, and then he explained his bet a little better. And I think his became the better option out of that deal when exploring that, because we were only committed to phase one on it. So that's what spawned that meeting with him.
One more thing about this engineering outfit, there's no fancy trucks or no fancy equipment, it's the old lumber yard office from years ago on River Street. And it's just a nice old building and yeah, the people seem nice, they're very nice, I've been talking to them for damn near 2 years.
So Dan made that motion, who seconded it?
Don did,
Randy,
I thought Don did.
oh, Don, I'm sorry.
Did you have anything to add to that, Jerry? You were at that meeting?
I just thought the guy was
very knowledgeable and everything else. This engineering company and stuff, I've talked to him, they work with a lot of associations up here in northern Michigan to help them get grants. He's very up to everything, he's already talked to Eagle about our dam, he's already talked to DNR about our dam. He's really interested in helping us, and they're very knowledgeable about what's going on here. I think they're gonna really work good with us.
Anybody else got any questions or any comments on the dam? If not, then, and we have the money to do this,
Yes, the, what is the 11,000?
Yes, we do.
then I'm gonna close discussion at this point. We're gonna take a roll call vote on the dam.
Don Hall, yes.
Phil Boyd, yes.
Dan Harmon, yes.
Randy?
Randy Brown, yes.
Jerry McDill, yes.
Charles?
Charles Highway, yes.
Motion carries.
Let's hire a guy. I wanna get the money.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Hey, you look for
Don?
One more thing, I got
Yeah.
my other eye's getting operated on Monday, and I have to go up there Tuesday. So, if possible, whatever, I wouldn't mind dropping the check off.
Yeah.
And that, to me, that'll show them, it's been a couple of weeks since we had the meeting, that, that we are interested in, and
You have like a-
begging
I
to
think you had
get
a
something
retainer
done
in
this
his-
I
fall.
was gonna say, I believe on his proposal, he said once.
I think it's
approved, he can start
$1,000.
Within 2 to 4 weeks, correct?
$1,100,
They'd have to ask them, I don't.
On his proposal, do you guys remember if he said, what his proposal said? Was he the one that said he could
But
start
now it's
within?
getting later in the season.
Yeah,
Change
he was,
Well, as long as the ground ain't
that.
cold.
Right.
I think he said 2 to 4 weeks so he could start from the time of payment.
I wanna get a quantity.
It'd be a good one though, cause like he said, we need to get this done and be ready. He can have the grant ready, so when that money's available, we're first ones in line
Yeah.
to drop it down and say, hey, we need the money.
Okay.
And I wanna say something about the dam
Go on.
anyways.
Go ahead.
Thanks to Mike and Jamie and some of the rest of us who put up the pig roast and the donations that came in. You did a fantastic job.
And I-
Thank you guys.
Thank you. And I just have to say, adding to that, that the most donations that we got came from somebody who doesn't even live in here.
Oh.
She went out and hustled for me to get donations.
Well,
At the
you
last
mention
minute.
her name or?
Her
not?
name is Jessica
he's a
Patterson.
$1,000 retainer on
Why
him.
don't you put her name in the
I will.
minutes?
Huh?
It's that one.
Means that's what gets him.
Okay,
He just needs a
dam
$1,000
is
check.
handled as far as I can tell. What's the next thing on the agenda?
Elections, and I have nothing.
Okay, and anything else after elections? Wildlife or,
Yep.
well, I know newspaper people aren't here. so-
I talked to her. Lakes.
Lakes? Anybody got anything on lakes?
I have not talked to Roy, and I have
Okay.
not talked to Roy.
I have a question on lakes.
Okay.
Did I hear that we were gonna do feeder fish this year or next year?
That's
I
under
think
wildlife.
Is that under
That's
wildlife?
under
Okay,
wildlife.
my bad.
Okay.
Newsletter, Nan said we need to decide when we want the newsletter to go out.
Doesn't
So that
this
she
one
can-
usually go out
Usually around November,
before the 15th?
never before the 15th, it doesn't make it out in time, but we try to. So she said just pick a time frame, beginning of November, at mid-November, end of November, and she will email
When does
us.
she want the articles?
She said that she will figure it out and email everybody.
When do I need to get
We
some?
need to figure out when we want it, so that I can email her and tell her when we want it out by, and then she's gonna send out a group email to everybody, letting them know when articles are due.
Mid-November.
We'll go 15th.
Mail's been really slow.
It has.
You might wanna try.
I think she said that she's gonna increase the time to process
I
it
suggested I'll drop
by a
it
week or
off.
so, because mail's so slow.
I'm still looking
So
at it.
that's why she said she wants to know.
An extra
I
for
sent
that.
a check to my niece in California, never got it.
Okay, so we're agreed that
18 months, $30.
this is gonna go out the 15th.
mid-November, no guarantee on the date.
Okay, mid-November, that's fine. She'll email us and tell us when she wants the articles by then?
Yeah, I
Okay.
just gotta let her know when we want it.
Okay, what's after newsletter?
Parks,
Parks?
we have nothing.
Nothing? Next?
Works look great.
Roads,
Okay, like I said earlier, I spent $8,800 already. 3,000 of it went to summer maintenance. Improvements was 58.30, total 88.45. I have the work that's going to be, it's gonna be done this week for Wildwood and Timberline Trail intersection. And that's where the cistern is and the hill that we're gonna cut down. And I'm talking to Ed about, because we have to cap it.
Mhm.
So I'm talking to him about maybe using the chipped
fresh asphalt.
crushed asphalt, yes. It worked really good in the curve up in the north end, and we can use it as a test.
And I'm pretty sure he said it's about the same price.
It's
It is.
$3 cheaper, a yard.
Get it.
He has to
Yes,
truck
he
it from
can
that
get it.
state.
Dawn, I have a quick question for you. As far as your budget goes right now, are you still on track? to
Oh,
reach-
yeah. Yeah,
I mean, are you under, or you're just,
I'm just about
right.
there.
Just about there.
It's what I usually spend in the summer.
okay,
I may be a little under. However, we don't know what the winter's gonna be like, and
no, I know, I'm just,
I know I've got at least 2 ladies, cause I got one coming out next week, or actually,
I'm just asking so
Yeah,
that,
I'm
you know,
just-
we know where we're at because of
Right.
all the stuff we've been
Still
discussing.
got
so
barrels
I have
filled
one
too.
lady coming out prior to the work being done.
Okay,
Okay, so that's $500.
okay,
Alright, so, and I know that I wanna blade again towards the end of October. Whenever we get a big rain. Cause I have to keep those things filled in, if I don't, we're gonna lose roads. And that's the cheapest way of doing it. It's a Band-Aid. But I'm gonna try to cut mine too. Yeah.
next, have you done, Dawn?
Wildlife.
Wildlife? Okay, now you can ask about the feeder fish.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I-
really don't have anything to report, so.
Did I hear we're doing feeder fish at the
Well, I
last
heard
meeting?
at the last meeting we were gonna do that.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
all right,
we
I
we
thought I heard
decided
something over here, and I'm like,
that
did I
until the
hear
dam
that?
is fixed, we're not even doing feeder fish right now.
Good, okay.
We missed the window anyway.
We could do it in the spring, but
Have to wait till spring.
No, that's fine, what's next?
That's it, I think. Old business.
Old business,
Old business, I don't think there is any old business other than the dam, and I think we've already taken care of that.
new business,
Okay, so any new business, well, nobody added new business to the agenda. Okay, this is public
Public
comment, 5 minutes. Name and lot number, if you got anything you wanna say, be recognized.
Dawn Hall, 3435. Okay, I'm actually making a suggestion on the, agenda. Is putting the roads, means they spend a lot of money, put them up higher on the agenda under, treasurer.
You wanna move it to the, okay,
we had discussed previously, which when I sent you the agenda to modify, I did not rearrange the,
I didn't get one from you to modify,
Well,
I took the spring, no.
yeah, cause I sent it in the spring, so I did not adjust the rotation of how we go through everything, and we had discussed moving all financial everything to the top. Anything that has money involved goes to the top, so.
That would be all the
All of it
committees.
does.
Exactly,
All the committee, well, the
Well-
thing, from a structural standpoint, we list that as officers' report, so I don't know if the roads chair qualifies as an officer.
No, she's saying move it up to
right below treasurer.
just below the treasurer.
Well,
Instead of
The
starting with
treasurer is
bylaws.
under the officer.
yeah,
Right, but she's saying, after she does the
Oh,
treasurer
she wants
report,
to be the
then
first
start
one
with
in
road
committee
first.
report.
Well, yeah, it should be according to how much that a person spends, or what the committee gets, basically. Because it's a hit and miss with the treasurer. Like, my report came early because it had to do with the treasurer. And that happens a lot. So I just like to have that moved up, and then anybody else
Not
that
really.
has
Oh, no, it's.
lakes and dam fund underneath. And then everybody else can follow.
And that's something I can change, it doesn't matter, I mean, it's not a big deal, if that's what I.
Yeah, that's not something we can.
That's fine.
Anybody else got public comment? I wanna thank everybody for their, Gary Vanuk, lot number 88. I wanna thank all this board for doing everything that's done. Doug, I appreciate you sticking with it on the dam.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is the day you
Oh, I ain't
didn't
going
think.
nowhere, I just told Gary I need a break.
But I'm just saying, Doug, thank you very much. I mean, I know how frustrating trying to get something accomplished, you know, having worked in the automotives myself, you know, you tell somebody what they need. And it's like, well, can we wait, can we put it off?
Yeah,
You know, I fully understand it, so thank you very much for sticking with it. Everybody
not a problem.
has done a fine job, I put that in the last newsletter. I really appreciate everybody just sticking with it and doing what they have to do. This has been working out, and hopefully, I don't hear too much BS about,
No, the place is
This
getting
board at
better.
all.
Yeah.
so, I thank you all. Things are, I think, moving in the right direction for a change. I'm done with my comments. Anybody else?
2,100 for the pig road.
I have a motion to adjourn.
2,130.
Make a motion to
Yeah, you
adjourn.
should say that.
Second?
Wait.
Oh,
I just wanna say, Dawn said I should let everybody know that we made $2,113 on the pig roast. So thank you, everybody who showed up.
I meant to say that, nice job, gave me money.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, good job, guys. That was a good
He
turnout
worked his
last week.
ass off.
Absolutely.
They both did.
That was fun, too.
okay. Now, motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Alright.
Done.
You guys, we did that in 50 minutes.
That's how it should go.
Normally they're like,
I like those
so
one
that was
fifty
Gary
degrees.
and Spencer.
Randy.
I
Did I
know.
miss out? What is it?
Yeah, I know.
What was that?
Frustrating part
So
is,
what it is you can't.
you know, I took a day I had to go downstate.
Name,
That Monday.
address,
So I
phone,
stayed
lot number, and here.
with the
That way
file.
if